Here is the front end componentry. We've got both uprights, both upper and lower wishbones. I've got the new rack and the old rack as well. I've bought the old rack in for two reasons. One, to show you that there's the original pinion from the rack and pinion location. It's underneath the rack because the rack actually originally came this side of the car. The new rack is going to be this side of the car, so the pinion has to be above. So I'm fairly sure I've got that the right way around. It's not uncommon for builders to build cars and realise they actually turn right when they're supposed to turn left. And I've brought it in because I think I can reuse these extensions, and hopefully that means I don't have to fabricate any here, which would be a nice thing to get away with. Yeah, so I'm going to strip them off and start building this front end, and just basically mock it up, just so we can make sure that everything fits and I can get an idea of where I need structure to be. There we go, I've mocked up one side. It's taken a long time, so let's try and mock up another one. I think that might have to be done tomorrow though. It's getting pretty cold and pretty crappy outside weather-wise. Hello everybody. Well, I've unwittingly created a load of problems for myself. I'm not sure if I've shown you yet on the video, but I have started to create this model in 3D because I was struggling to put it together. The wishbones and everything, the uprights, and actually coordinating everything so that it missed everything that was in the car. One of the issues I've got is that by moving the pedal box forward, I now have a clash with all the master cylinders for the clutch and the brake, so I might have to do some rejigging. Let me show you what the options are. So as you can see, I tried to build the front end in front of the car so I could envisage it, and the idea was that with this, like this, that I'd have this front end wishbones basically facing this way, was flat, so the steering rack could go here. I've sort of now modelled that in the computer, and I realised that it's going to clash a lot with all the stuff I've got here, like the radiator and everything, and create problems with airflow. I could make it work actually. It's not impossible to actually get it to do what I want, but obviously the better way would be to have all the wishbones and everything further inside of the car, because it brings the weight inside, and also there is this space here to do it. The problem is this is in the way. You can see I've made a mark here. It's about 120 millimeters off the plane, this table here, to give it 160 millimeters roughly ride height. But basically that's where I want it, and I want it sort of 175 millimeters from the center. It's roughly somewhere there, but it needs to come back further. This point here needs to be 10 millimeters front of this point on the chassis, and so it needs to come back a good chunk further. You can see the mark I've made there. That's kind of in line with where this needs to be, and yeah, that's just, it's not going to work. That clutch cylinder there is properly in the way. I think even if I'd moved it back and got rid of the clutch cylinder, I think the brake cylinder here would still be in the way as well. So this may no longer be an option now I've seen this in the flesh. So I may have to go back to my original design and you know, have all the radiator and everything in the way. The radiator and everything does sit below this. Like I said, this sits 120 millimeters or so off the ground, and I just need to go measure up where the radiator sits, but it probably will clear it. But again, I'll probably just measure it up and draw it all in 3D, just to make sure I'm happy. But yeah, now I've seen where these master cylinders are, this isn't going to be an option. But the good thing about that is I don't have to change the steering rack, I can keep that. Yeah, I think I'm going to model the front on the computer again, make sure I'm happy. I can make it work. It's just that the best way of having all this on the inside, I'm effectively going to have to flip this over and do it this way instead. So yeah, that's the way it's going to be, pretty much like how that's set up. So yeah, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world, but it's definitely going to clear everything now. I've just got to make sure that it clears the radiator and everything at the front. That was a ramble.